What? No theme music, nah?
Gusto, now Chris the host. Man, I make a little dinner while busting joke. Come to the yard, get it off your chest. There's no hard feelings when you're rocking with the best. Everything's crisp, everything's nice. Throw a little sugar, add a little spice. Hard school questions, cook a little rice. Gamble like Vegas and throw a little dice. Raise your glasses, make a toast. Drop by Chris for a Sunday roast. Or 8 taste of his mixology. Get twisted and not off the Hennessy. Now your belly's full, play a game of ball. Gusto, he's coming from the old school. No if buts, maybes, whys. No silly questions, I tell no lies.
Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.
Just waiting for them to log in. How's everyone doing anyway? No one's logged in. Yeah, there we go. All right. Hi,
Hi.
Ella, hey. Do you get that joke sometimes?
Quite a lot, yeah. You'd be surprised how much.
Oh, I imagine so. How you doing?
I'm not bad, thanks. How are you?
I'm all right. You know, I'm here. You know,
Busy day.
glowing with this light, making me look better than I usually. Yeah, no, it is. How you been today anyway?
Not bad. Just living that lockdown life.
That's it, man. That lockdown life, man. Adapt to it, man.
I know, yeah. It
Finding the
just
right-
involves a lot of eating. Pretty much.
Ooh. What kind of food you been eating?
Anything and everything going. I've actually been trying to bake a lot as well. So
That's good.
baked goods. I'm currently working on sourdough. We'll see how it goes.
Sourdough, yeah. I tried to make biscuits the other day. You know the
How'd it go?
American ones. I know you might be familiar with those. Yeah, I
Yeah,
tried to
yeah.
make- that was
Any
alright.
good?
That was a challenge. That was a challenge. So have you adapted to the lockdown with the whole with your whole working out and stuff, and you know make sure you're in shape still some kind of way.
I mean, with netball, we're technically still hoping the season's going to go on, so we're still like doing virtual sessions like all the time, every week. We've got challenges set, so yeah, just doing those with the netball team, going on runs.
Mm.
My brother managed to steal some of the weights from Barking Abbey, courtesy of my dad. So we've got like a mini weight room in our backyard, so that comes in handy.
Hey, you gotta do what you can, then it. That's it. That's how it is.
Exactly.
All right, and also you know you've been training and that. So in terms of basketball workouts, have you done any basketball workouts?
No, not really. It's a bit hard to because all the courts have been shut until like I think like last week. So and the one near us still isn't open, the outdoor one. But fingers crossed. We're trying to work. Me and Dan are trying to work with my dad to get him to Barking Abbey so we can work out there. But
Like, come on,
it's a
Dad, man.
challenge.
Let's go,
I
Dad.
know.
You gotta come.
There must be some perks to being head of the academy, surely.
No, yeah, of course. There's got to be. Probably just
Yeah.
can't be bothered right now. And so where is it you grew up then? So where did you grow up in turn?
Northeast London. So we live in the same house I grew up in. So like around Walthamstow area, in
Yeah,
a small little town called Chinkford.
yes, that's Northfield. Not far from Enfield, isn't it?
Yeah, literally just down the road.
All right, and how was it growing up there? So the basketball culture, because there's a lot of guys who are from North London are from that play basketball. So you got a lot of people that I know of, like Ryan Martin, Olan, and
Yeah.
Ovi as well. Was the North London. Ishmael had him not long ago. So yeah, what was that
Yeah.
like? The North culture, like North London basketball culture.
I mean, when I first started playing basketball, we'd play in like Hertfordshire because the closest team to us, well, and my parents were really heavily involved in it, was in Ware, which is like 30 minutes from us. So when I first started playing it, that was kind of the culture, which was, I loved it, like really big like community atmosphere, like in terms of that, which I found out later was the same when I transferred to play for Haringey as well. Like the community within the basketball was like massive. I just remember going to like huge basketball camps where there was like 150 people there, just like, and everyone knows everyone. Like we still talk to people that we used to play with when we were 11, and we never really see them. But when you see each other, it's just like long lost friends kind of thing.
I think basketball has that, like it just has that thing where everyone, as soon as you know someone that plays basketball, or you find out someone that plays basketball, you just tend to have that bond, and you just seem to just talk like you know each other forever, even though you just met each other just 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, when you play with people, you share things that you don't necessarily share with just regular friends and stuff like that. So you automatically have like a different bond, I guess.
Definitely. So what is it that started getting you into basketball? Because I know I can tell you have a family of athletes. For one, you know what I mean, I think your mum played on the national team at one point.
Yeah,
and then you coached the national team at one point as well.
yeah. So yeah, pretty much involved in basketball like straight out of the womb, pretty much. I remember just running around the bleachers at London Leopards games when my dad used to be the assistant coach there. But yeah, just ever since I was old enough to touch a ball, I had a ball in my hand because there was a ball all the time everywhere. And then obviously you grow up with your brother, with someone like my older brother who plays, you're automatically just competitive against someone because you hate being second best.
Yeah, so that's my fault. So yeah, you said you pretty much was introduced to the sport as soon as you was born.
Yeah, I had no choice really because my dad obviously coached the London Leopards, and then my mum was really involved in basketball still then, and then obviously Dan was playing. So yeah, my earliest memories are like at London Leopards games, just running around bleachers and.
Yeah. So you basically was born into it, and then that was it. It was in your face, really.
Yeah, which I mean, sometimes you find that it turns people off, but I think we weren't necessarily forced into it. It was just always there for us. So we had the choice, like we didn't have to do it, but I really enjoyed it, so I just kept going.
Yeah. So was there any other sports at the time that kind of got your attention a little bit? Or do you like? Because I know it's a lot of people I've had on here. They said that one of the first sports they played was football. A lot of people.
I never played football.
Yeah.
I played loads of sports when I was growing up, to be fair. Football wasn't one of them. I pretty much did anything that Dan did. So Dan did swimming, I did swimming. Dan did rugby, I did rugby. Dan did something else, I did that. Like I did tennis actually, which is the only thing Dan didn't do. Athletics, all of it.
The big brother, man. How was he like? So I could tell by what you're telling me, he's very influential. How was that like growing up with a brother like that? So he's been he's the captain of the GB team. He's had great experience. Was it very competitive, or was it a different kind of relationship growing up?
He was annoying, as any brother is, still annoying to this day. But yeah, obviously, when you've got someone like that in your house, like you always want to, you've got someone to play one-on-one against. You've got someone that's always going to beat you up because they want to be better. They want to be the best because you're both young. So you never really had an easy ride, which I guess is. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, it just kind of froze a little bit. So he always was like pushing me to be better. I never got an easy ride at all. So yeah.
It's obviously that obviously pushed you towards something, because then you're a dual athlete now. Congrats on that. You played international for basketball and netball, which is great. So So talk us through those decisions. So you obviously told us how you got into basketball. What got you into netball?
It kind of broke up a little bit there. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So what is it that got you into netball, seeing as you got into basketball as well?
Well, my mum used to worked at Barking Abbey for ages, and there was a club there, so it kind of worked out in the fact that she could drop me off at netball and then go and continue to work, kind of thing. She had something to do late in the evening.
Okay.
So it kind of just like fell into the lap, but because of basketball having like a big base skill, I guess, and there was a lot of crossover, it was really easy to like fall into the sport.
Okay, so what made you continue to stick with netball to, to play at a higher level? So like, you played at the under 21s GB team. What was it that motivated you, inspired you to keep playing netball as well as basketball?
And I think as with anything, like as soon as you get a little bit of success, you just keep going until I guess either the success runs out and you get a bit bored of it or what. But
Yeah.
I say it's because of basketball that I kind of got fast tracked through the system anyway, because I already had a base level of skills that let me, even though I was late into the sport, I guess, compared to other people, I advanced kind of at the same pace as what other people who had been in the sport longer, because I played basketball, I had a base level.
Okay.
So did the England, like all the regional stuff. England netball has like a really designated pathway system. So went through all the pathways, county, regionals, into the under 17s program, into the under 19s program, and then made the under 21 team.
Yeah, I can hear you. So you made the under 21 team.
Yeah, just kind of, I don't know.
Okay, good. So how did that GB come about then? The GB saga come about?
Netball or basketball?
Well, let's go with basketball first and then the netball.
So kind of the same. I played England since I was 14, I think, when I played on 60. I played the under 16 England team when I was 14, and then just carried on going through the age group. So I played 3 years under 16, 2 years under 18, into the under 20s, and then got invited into the senior women's team for camp and stuff, and then ended up getting selected. So yeah, just gradually made my way through.
Yeah. And then the netball team, how did that come about for playing GB for netball?
So similar, did like regional stuff, county stuff. So I played with my team, and then county, regional, and then into the under 17s, into the under 19s, into the under 21s, and then I think I went through a couple of senior camps then, but I was still pretty young, and then I took a break to go to the States.
Okay. So and then the States, how did that? So when did you go over to States, and how was that whole experience? Talk us through that experience in playing in United.
So I went over to the States in 2010. The whole recruiting process was, I'm going to play fun. People find it stressful. I mean, the decision making in general was stressful, but going on visits to all these different schools and taking time off school to go for a little 2-day trip to the States, I found it nice. So I ended up picking Long Beach State because as well as gelling with the team, I just think, would I rather have snowy winters or sit on a beach all year round? Well, not sit on a beach, but be 5 minutes from a beach all year round.
What?
Yeah.
Is that
so
it? Look at that beach life.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And what was the team like there? The whole experience. Talk us through that, the whole team that you played with and your whole time that you was there.
Yeah, so people have mixed experiences with the States. For the most part, I enjoyed it. There's obviously ups and downs. It's very intense environment to be in. When I made my decision to go to Long Beach, I decided that I wanted to go somewhere where I could potentially play my freshman year. Like, I didn't want to go all that way just to sit on a bench, do all of that training, sit on a bench. So, I mean, it wasn't going to be given to me, but I knew it would be an option for me to possibly play my freshman year and play like reasonable minutes. And so that happened. Played my freshman year, like had good numbers, like was decent. Sophomore year, was that the year? I can't remember. Things went into a blur. It's a while ago. I'm pretty sure it was my sophomore year, but I ended up getting hurt. So I tore my labrum in my shoulder, but I was gonna play through it. Just with a brace on, it wasn't gonna be that bad. But then I had quite a big stress fracture in my leg as well, so I had to sit out with that. So I ended up getting the shoulder surgery. I looked pretty good. I had a massive boot on my leg and a huge shoulder brace and a single crutch. So
wow,
I literally looked like, I don't know, like special or something. But that's good. Then junior year, that's the year where it started to be a little bit different for me in terms of some of the negative experiences people had. That's when I kind of had mine in terms of things not going how you want to go, how you expect it to go. Especially sitting out for a year, you expect just to, and you don't have a choice not to work your ass off to get back. So, so after working all that time to get back, sitting out for the whole year, I expected it to be similar to my freshman year, like have those good numbers, have those good minutes and stuff like that. But things kind of didn't go how they were, like performance-wise. Like I went through a big shooting slump, which affected me mentally more so. Like I didn't get benched from my slump that I was in. It just affects you mentally because you're going on there to score the ball. And one of my attributes is that I can shoot, and when you can't do something that you're meant to do, it just grates on you, and so then everything grates on you, and then you've got like 10 hours of study, mandatory study hall on top of that, and then you're getting up for 6 a.m. weights, and things just become a general just cycle of like negative. You can't think of anything else because the one thing you're there for is basketball, really. Because I could have stayed here and studied, and it's not going how I wanted it to go. So it was just a bit negative. But then senior year, things picked up again. I decided not to go for my 5th year because obviously I redshirted a year because of my injury. I decided not to go for it because at that point I'm just overstudying. Just not for me, really.
Fair enough. So how did you make it through that adversity, like, you know, all of that, you know, you said on the mental side it affected you. How did you get through that? What is it that you did specifically that helped you stay focused and motivated?
So the good thing about team sport is you've got people around you all the time. So obviously with college there's a turnover every year, but I kept in good contact with some of the seniors that had already left. So one of my best friends, who I'm still friends with now, she was really good support of me, just having a break from being around like an environment that was making me a little bit down about how I was shooting or how I was performing in general. And then the coaches on top of that, like they're there all the time. Like if you want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go shoot, like they'll open the gym for you. They'll come. Like if you want to stay late, like they live down the road, like they'll come. Like you can just go into their office and talk. So I had like really good relationships with my coaches, especially like to my 3rd and 4th coach. So I would just go to them and vent and stuff like that. But it was just good to not necessarily think about basketball all the time. So I had friends that weren't on the basketball team. So I had people in different sports, like people in my classes that I just got to have a break from.
So
like maybe have a break from basketball.
So sometimes you have that thing where you got people where you can just go somewhere and talk about other stuff other than basketball, talk about life, and get that helps you get through it. So your relationship with your coach in California, what was that like, say, from when you started to when you graduated?
So my head coach, it kind of fizzled out towards the end, to be honest. She didn't like the fact we were fine until the fact I told her I didn't want to take my 5th year. So that kind of disintegrated our relationship just because of the fact I didn't want to take my 5th year. But it is what it is. Like I have no bad blood against her. And I think, to be honest, if I was to speak to her now, she'd be over it. But at that time, that's how it was left. She wasn't happy that I wasn't taking my 5th year. But all the other coaches kind of understood where I was coming from. She'd never been out of Southern California, like, pretty much in her life. So she didn't really get the fact that I was living however many thousand miles from home. She did get it, but she didn't at the same time. Whereas the other coaches kind of emphasised a little bit with the fact that I was so far away from home. I'd been that far away from home for 4 years. So I left it with the 3 other coaches on a lot better note than I left it with my head coach. But it is what it is.
It is what it is, you know what I mean? And it was a better choice for you, so I guess. After California, you played, I believe, in Italy and Spain.
Yeah. So straight after finishing my degree, I went to Spain my first year out. So I played in League Premier 1 in a team called Zamora, which is like not far from Salamanca on the border of Portugal. So yeah, that was really good. That team is notoriously for taking loads of young people straight out of like college or wherever system from. Just because they like a deal, I think is how my agent put it to me. They like to get those like the cheaper players because it's their first year out. But I mean, I was playing in League Premier 1, which is like one of the best leagues still in Europe, and it was then at the same time. So I just took the opportunity, and I lived with my housemate was from Bosnia, so A little bit of a cultural difference and stuff like that, but I loved it. Like, I'm still really good friends with her. Still really good friends with my other teammates. But yeah, and then after that, I played in Guernica, which is near Bilbao, so it's still in Liga Femenina 1.
Yeah.
The coaches out in Spain are like very intense, and Italy, to be fair, they're really intense, as you expect, very passionate about basketball.
Yeah, they are.
But yeah, huh?
I said they are very passionate over there about basketball in Spain, definitely.
Yeah, but I learned so much just from even my first year there. It was a big learning adjustment in terms of I'm not just playing college basketball now. I'm playing with like women.
Pros.
Yeah, I'm playing with like big women. Like we had a 6'7" like big Slovenian girl on our team. So going up against her like in practice every day, like I was skinnier then than I am now. So yeah.
Oh, how was that like? What was that challenge like guarding someone like that?
Yeah, it's good. You just have to find ways to work for you. So what she had in like strength and just general power, like I made up for in my like weakness. So I would have to try and get the ball before she'd set herself. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You just find different ways to like combat different people, and because you work out of them every single day, you find their weaknesses. So you can't like jab her here one down, like she's not going to catch that ball.
Oh yeah, definitely got like beat them. Be very strategic, I say, innit? Tacticals, because you ain't got as much advantage as them. So after that, Italy, Spain. So talk us through what made you come back to Leicester, and then after coming back to Leicester, you also won the BBL trophy as well, WBBL trophy as well, the trophy cup.
So like I said, like I didn't play netball I stopped playing netball when I went to college, and I thought that'd be it. Like there's no way I could take 4 years out and then just come back and do whatever. And basketball was providing so many more opportunities for me at the time.
Yeah.
And then my second year in Spain, my old netball club messaged me like, "Oh, we've had an injury. Can you come and play like in the second half of the season?" Because netball season runs longer than the basketball, but starts later on as well. So once I finished my season in Guernica, I went to play for Mavericks, which is based in Hertfordshire. I mean, I was solidly against it when she first asked me. I was like, I'm not going to be able to play. Like, I've not played for 6 years. There's no way. So anyway, ended up doing it and said I don't really want to do it again. Went to Italy. A girl that I used to play with before I left for America, netball-wise, was now coaching there, and they had injuries and asked if I would play the second half of the season once I was done in Italy.
Yeah.
And I said, like, if anyone else asked, like, I probably would have said no, but I played with this girl for a while, and she was like a just really good person. So I was like, okay, fine, like, I'll do it. It's nothing off my back. And then I did my ACL in the last game before the semi-final.
Oh.
And at that time, I'd kind of been involved a little bit with the England program and stuff like that. So I was on like with them. And so after I did my ACL, I decided to stick with netball just because, well, not just because I was really enjoying playing at the time, but the support that I would have got from netball was 10 times more than I would have got from basketball in terms of getting my surgery quickly, getting my like rehab all done.
Yeah.
So I came back from my ACL in 7 months, which, no offense to basketball, but there's no way I would have done that if I had stuck with them at all. And so
fair enough.
Netball's just got a much better system set up in terms of like finding the best people and just having a constant rehab system and all that stuff. But yeah, and so because of that, I'd been in Loughborough for a while, and then opted to just continue playing netball to see what it was, because I'd never given netball 100% before I left for the States. I was always doing a 50-50. And then when I came back initially, I was doing 50-50 like professional basketball, and then coming back and playing netball. And I'd never given it 100% and just thought, let's see where it goes. It just kind of happened. I did my ACL, which screwed up the plan, but I just continued with it just to see where it took me. And then I just kind of missed basketball, and I thought since my ACL, I never felt right. Like I never felt like I was playing in the same way that I used to play. So I thought I tried everything, like changed my rehab, changed all the exercises I was doing, nothing really helped. And then I thought, well, the difference was I was playing basketball then, and I'm not playing it now. So maybe I can see if like riders will let me play with them. So yeah, long story short, I ended up at Riders this season.
Yeah. So it worked in your favour really, because you're playing for Loughborough and Riders, and they're right next to each other. So that kind of worked in your favour. How was that? How did you manage to manage that? Like there's been a few dual athletes in the past in other sports, but that managing that your netball season and your basketball season, how was you able to manage both of those?
With a lot of help, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Like you said, that they're both based in Loughborough. So the Riders women don't play at Leicester Arena, but they play at the university. So the netball basketball offices is the same office. So the communication between them, like, it's ideal really, because all they've got to do is turn the chairs around and have a discussion about, oh, what's Ella's schedule looking like this month or this week, or how's her loading looking and stuff like this. And instead of it being phone call, they can always have face-to-face meetings whenever they wanted to. Really, it's just live in the same office. And then Loughborough has a really good base of like everything's joined. So all the S&C coaches, everything, like I'm training in the exact same venues. I'm training for both sports. So that was the only way I was probably able to do it at this level, to be fair. So just thankful that Loughborough's the right environment to do it in, and I happen to be there. So.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And you know, winning that BBL trophy, what was the emotions going through you, and what was you thinking winning that, like winning?
Yeah, it's not bad, you know, but coming back after a few years break from basketball and winning some kind of silver in your first year back. Yeah, it's a great feeling, to be honest. Like nothing really comes close to winning, especially like winning in the big games as well. And there was the whole like fiasco with Corona was just starting and stuff like this. So
gosh,
there was that kind of put a little bit of shade over things. But at the end of the day, it was just really good to go up there in the midst of everything and then come out with a win anyway. So that was a little bit sweeter.
and that left with the silverware. That's amazing. Again, you know, congratulations to you guys on that one again. And that, so moving. Also, I noticed you have a bit of Brixton in you. I
Say that one more time. It broke up a little bit.
You have a bit of Brixton in you as well.
I've never actually played it, but I've played against Brixton and I've played in the rec and stuff like that. But I've never really been to many things in Brixton other than random tournaments and stuff.
I mean, like in terms of your other half, because he has a very yeah.
Yeah, I guess so, just a little bit.
Pardon?
Yeah, I guess so, just a little bit.
How has he been an influence to you in your career? How much has he driven you? And how
I mean, I was kind of far along in my career by the time we ended up re-meeting. So, but yeah, it is good to have someone that kind of understands like what it takes to be an athlete. Like the fact that you're not always going to be there because you've got to go and train. Like you have to do certain things to make sure that you're ready to go for my job, essentially. So some people wouldn't necessarily get that. And the fact that I'm playing sport for a living, some people would just think like that's not a job. Like you can't spend that much time doing it. Whereas someone like that, they understand it.
That's good. And you know, between the two, who's the better player?
Me.
All right, that's good. That's jokes. We're gonna there's a few questions I always ask on this show. So you know, I would like to know, you know, what's your views on the WBBL in this country and the BBL, and you know, what things you reckon are working and what things you reckon they could work on making better.
Good question, really. The WBL. I'm just gonna speak about WBL because I don't really know much about the BBL. I feel like WBL, like I have listened to Nicolette, and what Nicolette says is true. Like the stuff behind the scenes in terms of pushing the sport and marketing it and trying to get out to a wider audience definitely needs to be up. Like there's no way that our social media feed is as quiet as when we're not generating as much like people passing through the feed and stuff like that. So it's the same, like I said about GB as well. Like they could do so much more with their social media in terms of just pushing the sport and getting it out there. I mean, it is definitely moving in the right direction, and especially if you look at teams that like, so if you look at Newcastle, if you look at Riders, if you look at who are like Essex to an extent, who've joined kind of teams sides with the men's side, like that's probably the way that it should go in terms of the fact that you get a fan base.
That's true.
So you go to Newcastle. Like, this is the first year that the women's team in Newcastle used to be Northumbria, and they weren't really associated with the men's team, but now they're like associated with the men's team. And you go to the Newcastle arena for a game, and they've got like a decent amount of fans, and you're like, this is your first year, and you've got a decent amount, but that comes from the core group of having a fan base from the men's team. So for the women's side, that comes up with like the Riders, I think they could do a better job in terms of the fact that most of their fan base is in Leicester, but the women's team no longer play in Leicester. We play in the university, so we miss out on some of that fan base that would maybe come to the game, but they don't because it's like 25 minutes away now because it's not at the arena, it's at the university.
I reckon it should be at the arena though, your women's game. I was a bit surprised to see that. I didn't know why you guys were at the arena as well. It would make more sense.
I've asked this question many times. It's cost effective apparently for us to play at the university.
So playing in the same arena, I don't know what to say to that. Like that makes no sense. I just thought you'd be in the same arena and it make more sense and more efficient for everyone to go to the same arena to watch you play.
It would, and there are reasons behind it. Whether I agree with them is a different story, but I don't run the business side of it, so I don't really understand it. But that's the reasons I've been told. But it would be nice. Personally, it would be nice to play in an arena and to try and make the sport better. Like Leicester, the Morningside Arena is a decent venue, so for us to play there like week in week out for our home game, it'd be great. Like it set a standard for a league. Because like if I'll take Barking for example, because my dad's the head coach there. Like them playing at the CONVO box compared to them playing at Barking Abbey, because they flip flop between the two depending if the men's have a game at CONVO box. Like it's a whole different world. Like they've gone from playing in like a huge, like I don't know, whether it's 7,000, 8,000 seat arena, playing in 1 week. People have to stand like vertically above the court. Like it may as well be like another 14 game because that's where they play. So, but yeah, it's all about just trying to get a fan base for all the clubs and move it on. And I think the best way to do that is because obviously, as bad as it is, men's basketball is more popular. So have a fan base in there, then maybe it will translate over a little bit to the women's game.
Hopefully, definitely. But I do think, like I've said as well, marketing is I think the marketing, both of them, is not as effective as it should be. There's so much to it. If you saw Nicolette's one, she said a great point. I think, they need to make the fans feel special for one. And also make the players feel special because that's what the fans come to see is the players. Make the which was an influence why I did this show, because it's like I want people to act like you know who the players are. So I've said before, like for example, why a lot of people were upset with when RIP when Kobe passed away this year. A lot of people who didn't even know who Kobe was personally were upset because it felt like you knew who he was, and I think that's what we need to do more here. There's people who cried over it, you know what I mean, shedded tears because they felt like they knew that person, So I think that's what they could do a lot more here of. So that's one of my inputs. The marketing needs to be more effective.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with all the points Nicolette made as well in terms of making the fans feel special, as well as us. Like, you can have 5 people in the stand, and if they just feel like they're just there for the sake of it, then they're not going to come back.
Make the players feel special, man. Make them feel like they're somebody, which I do believe. I'm a big believer in that. But that's the BBL and WBBL. So moving forward, what was a defining moment in your career?
Probably my first GB cap, which was against Bulgaria, I think, in just like a prep tournament. But that was definitely a defining moment in my basketball career, just in terms of I feel like I've made that step up from playing youth basketball to playing with the big girls, if that makes sense. So yeah, that was probably the defining moment. Well, one of them anyway. There's a couple.
Definitely. Next one. I said, what's your favorite pre-game meal and your favorite post-game meal?
I'm going to be really plain and just say pasta for my pre-game meal. Well, it depends on the time, but pasta mainly, just because it has to be 3 hours before, no later, no earlier, just because I know how my body reacts. So relatively plain pasta, not much meat or anything like that, just maybe a smart sauce or something if I'm feeling adventurous. Post-game meal, anything and everything going, to be fair.
Pancakes.
Nando's, I don't know, it depends.
Sourdough.
Yeah, when I perfect it, yeah, sourdough.
Oh, all right, that's dope. Next one. So now these are my hotspot questions. They're 2 3-part questions.
Okay.
First part is a player you loved playing with, a player you loved playing against, and a funny teammate.
Player I love playing with. I mean, this might sound really cliche, but I'm going to say Joe Leader just because she made everyone around her better.
Yeah.
She had that like I'm not going to lose mentality ever, which and just playing with her is just so much easier, just for the fact that everyone guards her really. But she kind of reads the game so well that it allows you to read it off her, and find that flow. And she's smart enough to know that she's going to get doubled and she'll dish it out to you like wide open. And if you work hard for Joe, Joe will work equally as hard for you, which is really nice having a teammate. Someone I like playing against.
Yeah, who do you like playing against? Or love playing against?
I don't know. That's a question. Who do I like playing against? I'm trying to think of this year because it's most recent.
Okay.
No, I'm going to say no one.
No.
I don't play against anyone because I have this thing where, as much as I read scouts and stuff like I like to play my own game. So if they shut one thing down, I'll just do something else.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like who I don't like playing against. I mean, the little ones, like if you take Nicolette for example, the little ones that are at my hip height, which is where I keep the ball, they're the annoying ones because that's where I want to keep the ball. So she'll just slap it out your hands.
And then so the funny teammate.
Funny teammate. Between two, I'd say Charlotte Stoddard, or I'm going to steal Nicolette's and say Rhiannon Bailey.
Oh yeah, Rhiannon. That's Rhiannon twice. That's a sign for me. I've got to get Rhiannon here now.
Nah, Rhiannon's good.
She's gonna be like, why have I not got her on sooner? But oh well. Rhiannon Bailey. And who was the first one? Rhiannon Bailey and
Charlotte Stoddard. She plays for Manchester.
Charlotte Stoddard. All right. Ah, sound like some names there. Okay, and then the second three part was a player you loved playing. No, a player you didn't like playing with. They're not necessarily someone you hate, just someone you might like, but you don't like playing with them. I've had a few answers with names. Player you didn't like playing against, so your kryptonite, and a funny opponent.
Player I like playing with. I mean, I'm not going to name names because that's a bit savage, but I guess I'm not trying to steal Nicolette's answers, but it's the same. Like, I like people that play for a team. And when people just give up because things haven't gone their way, like this is a team sport, so even if things aren't going your way, you have to keep trying because something might be going well for someone else, and you passing them the ball is why. So if you're just giving up, like I've not got time for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the selfishness and the egotistical, like I get people need to have confidence and stuff to play well, but when the ego comes into play and they think they're better than the rest of the team, then
yeah, definitely kills the chemistry. And then player you didn't like playing against. Everyone has a kryptonite.
Let's keep it in the WBBL. Who do I like playing against? I don't know her name, but it's the girl from the Portuguese girl from Sheffield. I can't remember her name, but I found her kind of difficult just because she's equally as long as me. So when I try and use my length around people, it was a bit hard.
Oh damn!
But yeah,
long wingspan and everything.
Yeah.
And then said a funny opponent.
Let's go with Rhiannon again because I've not been on a team in ages. So just to make it a bit quicker because obviously I'm not going to be able to think.
Yeah, but yeah, Rhiannon Bailey. Okay, any stories what she did?
As a clown, like you can like when we played Manchester this year up in Manchester, there was a whole issue in terms of the fact the whole electrics cut out, so we have to switch courts and stuff like this, and they had all the fans like moving all the benches and stuff. Like that's what I mean by WBL being like professional and just making the fans feel special. Hey, can you help move all the equipment?
You're helping fans move the equipment. Wow.
Yeah, like all the benches and stuff.
They got the fancy moved equipment.
It was shambles. But anyway, Rianne was just fucking jokes the whole time. So
All right.
just simple stuff.
She made it funny the whole time. All right, fair enough. All right, before we go out, anyone else got any more questions for Ella who's tuned in? And also, Ella, do you have any questions for myself?
I listened to the end of Nicolette's and she was asking about like how you're getting on in terms of what you're doing with this stuff. So I'm clear with that. But I am assuming you're trying to get as many players as you can, like WBL and BBL.
Yeah, but WBBL and BBL players, also coaches or anyone associated with hoop basketball. So, you know, people who have like media outlets or even commentators who are associated with basketball. But my main thing is I want to get as many BBL players and WBBL and also D1 players or National League players as well. That would definitely help. Just any basketball players, because the main thing is I want to put a light on the culture in terms of the players. I want people to get to know players. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, I think it's something that they miss in this country, especially in terms of like most people wouldn't, even people in basketball wouldn't be able to tell you like all the players on one team, which is even fans wouldn't be able to do that. So yeah, I think it's good. This is a really good idea, really good platform to do it on, especially at this time as well when people are willing to do stuff like this.
Definitely. I thought the funny thing is at first I wasn't even going to do this. I was literally because I've got the show. I've recorded some episodes. I'm still waiting for them to come out. Or waiting on my editor, but waiting to bring it out. But yeah, I was literally not going to do this, and then I spoke to a few people. They said try it and let's see what happens with it. And then a lot of people, I've got a good a lot of good feedback from it about it. So yeah. I thought I might as well continue and see if I can get a lot of WBBL players. I think it's good for them to get just as much exposure as the BBL players as well. So you know, that's why I'm reaching out to everyone and anyone I can.
Yeah, great idea, really, especially from a WBBL point of view. Because as we said, the more the better in terms of marketing. No matter in what form it comes in, like any marketing is good at this point. So
definitely. Appreciate that you like it and you enjoy it. So it gives me more motivation to keep pushing more and more. So hopefully someone sees it. I can get some funding for stuff and that can help me take it to the next level.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Definitely. Anyone else got any questions for Ella? What is Sam May like?
Oh, she's on my netball team, so not basketball related, I guess. Really nice person though.
Sam, all right, fair enough. Sam May. Let's see if we got any more. And I hate Bath players. All right.
Netball
one.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's another. So is Dan staying with you guys then? Why this is going on, or is he in his own house?
No, so Dan lives in Spain full time, so he's pretty much Spanish now. So he moved out there when he was 14. So this is the first time we've been together as like a family of 4 since I was like 11. So this amount of time.
Yeah. Okay, so I didn't know he's full time in Spain. I thought he came back and forth. Fair enough. That's good though.
Yeah, he moved out there when he was 14, pretty much, and then like he grew up out there, so he's pretty much his whole life. Like his girlfriend lives out there and all his friends, so he's happy.
Makes sense. And all right, he's been out there for how long now?
More than that.
Yeah,
around 15, 16 years, I think.
Wow, it's been there for a while then. All right. Doing great. And he played for GB. That's amazing. All right. Ella, again, appreciate your time. Appreciate you for putting up with the technical difficulties what we got there.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely.
Including me in this all.
When we do the studio and everything, we definitely would like to get you on the actual show as well. And then, help get some more exposure for the sport.
Yeah, keen. Definitely keen for it.
Definitely. All right, Ella. Speak to you later. Hope you're well. Stay safe.
Thanks, you too. Good luck with the rest of your day.
No worries. Thanks.
Bye.
Cheers.
Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.